Shalom, it's Sophia Kids. Alright, so this is a preview into 2021. This is from a reference and a blog post from Astro Charts. You guys can go visit that. You guys know I like to work with them a lot. Mostly because they have, a lot of celebrity charts. And those are just kind of like public documents that you can work off of. And, you're starting your, I guess, pretty much astrology learning business, okay? Because it's your business, it's your mind, it's how you're going to formulate how you take questions from each chart that you look at, okay? So that's just why I like this reference. And then they have like nice little guideposts on how you can get started with learning, okay? So we're going to talk about stelliums, they transits. I like to talk about transits a lot, as of recently, just so I can know what's kind of coming up, but also not get too wrapped up in them, just so you can have like a premeditated mindset about what to kind of like manifest, okay? You guys know that's an offering that I like to offer, or a service I like to offer, or just kind of like manifesting. I know I have some things kind of like, hidden that you guys probably like, okay, maybe show us the bigger things. I'm like, well, the bigger things are, you don't always, you still have to accept the responsibility of those things that you manifest, okay? So 111, let's keep on stuff on check. All right, so we have the stellium between Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So we guys know that is a Aquarian ruled, that is Scorpio ruled. So this 8th house, 11th house, and we have Jupiter, okay? That is 9th house, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then we have that from January 5th to 2021, and then January 10th to 2021. So we can go ahead and take that energy because we had those last 5 days from the last previous, but we're on the 10th today, okay? So we have that, and we're like, okay, what do we kind of, during the eclipse or the upcoming eclipse, what are the things that we have been discovering or thinking of that are going to probably come about maybe a little further along, okay? Especially when we see ourselves completing this year, especially if we have strong affirmations with completing this year, okay? As long as you have a strong affirmation about completing the year the way that you intend to complete and also accept the completion of, then you'll be fine. So it starts in 3 degrees Aquarius, and then Saturn starts in 2 degrees Aquarius. So that is a minimum impact when it comes to, how you're going to be sharing that energy. But like Saturn's not going to be too strict, but you're also going to be learning, minimum lessons. And I'm going to show you here. I have the spread down for tarot with this, okay? Let's talk about the stellium between Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto from 2021 to January 2021, okay? January 22nd. So we also have that now to kind of consider and keep up with, okay? So that's from the upcoming week. You're going to consider, what am I going to be learning from Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto? And those are still, again, lower degrees, which is 6 and 3 of Aquarius. And then we have 24 of Capricorn, both Pluto, okay, during that time. So it is more intensified about work, structure, and stability, okay? And then we have this one. This is also going into this next month, so we're going to continue the next month for the next 20 days, okay? So we have the stellium between Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So that's January 31st to 2021, okay? And then February 4th to 2021, okay? So in that space, you would say, okay, well, I'm going to be learning, you can look at people that are born during that time that you admire, because I always go through those, especially if we're talking about, learning astrology and how to kind of like see maybe how that, you'll see, okay? And then that's just a good time just to kind of say, okay, that's the wrap of the month. How do you consider your month being complete, and do you wish to complete it in that manner, okay? So that's another pre-manifesting of the end of your month, okay? Especially when you're watching these videos and consistently watching someone that you are studying from, okay? So, and that's in 25 degrees, so that comes up a little notch, okay? So that's more of a mature Capricorn, and that energy is going to be a little bit more fixed, and regardless of, you're between 2 fixed positions, which are Aquarius, okay, which is Jupiter, Saturn. So you're going to be in a restricted or a more, it's lenient, but it has a firmer grip, okay? But yeah, you guys are gonna be fine. But Venus starts in Capricorn at 28 degrees, so you guys are gonna have to incorporate some love into work and business, okay? And it's only active, but that's all into next year. But you're also gonna be manifesting that now if you're gonna be in long-term relationships, okay? If they're short-term, then next you're gonna be needing to kind of like cooperate with love and work during that time, okay? So we're not going to go into Mars conjunctions, but I did want to talk about the stelliums, okay? But yes, all right, so let's go ahead and get into that. That was pretty much your transit introduction, and that is for next year, so just kind of keep your mind on that. All right, so we have the 7 of Pentacles, so that validates our work and hard spirit, okay? So that also is will also be a Capricorn, 2nd or 3rd decan, okay? So you want to look at those two because they're mostly in that degree of, okay? So we have Denari and Oreos. Okay, you like that? You see, you want to make sure you focus on not having too much overexhaustion. The same way you want to start this year, do not overexhaust yourself any year that you start anything. And if you guys are going into your personal years of 2, 3, or 4, you definitely want to make sure you keep your mind on keeping up the pace and expressing more. That is more into numerology, okay? So you would calculate that. But make sure you keep up the pace, exactly like that. You're going to make sure you're keeping up with anything that could continuously, I guess, deposition your business, okay? Because you're going to always have a council of people watching you, okay? And then we have the 7 of chalices. And that is also, that 7 and 7, that is 14, that is 5. So you want to make sure you're consistently keeping that change, you know, current and present with your market and anything that you're involved with business and socially, okay? Because again, you have to make sure you're in agreement with people that you're in, brand and partnership with, okay? And we have the wheel. The wheel is pretty much your focus, okay? That is a complete cycle. That is the year, and that's exactly what we're talking about this year, for ahead of next year, okay? Or even in year. We can, if you're watching this video in 2021, when the title top pops up, you are in your moment, you are in your season, you are actually having to keep this in your mind, your present, okay? So I like that. It's for now and later, but you have to consider, like, what do you want to be ahead on? If you know me, then you know ahead. If you know me now, then you know me later, okay? And that's okay, because you're still getting information. And we have the Empress. That's sitting pretty. Again, you want to make sure you're maintaining that 3 level, that because we have the 3 in Aquarius right there, okay? And we have the 6 in Aquarius and another 3 in Aquarius starting in the second, the second week of that next year, and this is also this year as well, okay? And that 3 is that energy of, like, that Empress, and you're like, okay, you want to maintain your kind of like your social presence innocence, or your social presence wisdom, or position and status, okay? You want to continue to flow within your friend group, your social dynamic. You don't want any ruffles. You would hate to have that to have been a harder aspect where you were maybe having friend dispositions, or unwise counsel, okay? And that's just what you have to receive and be ready to receive, and just make sure you maintain that throughout your year, so that can maintain and roll over. All right, so thank you guys for checking in this video. 2021 January of next year, but also this year as a pre-meditation. But yes, I'll see you guys soon, and shalom. Bye.